So it's basically leaving you with a moister pork chop than you would otherwise have. Why did I just say moist? It's disgusting. Okay, so we're gonna do a pan-roasted brine pork chop recipe today. It's threefold. There's the brining process, which is a really important technique to understand in order to provide a lot of flavor and seasoning for your meat. And then it gets pan-roasted on the stovetop, finished in the oven. And the last thing that we're gonna do is baste it with butter and aromatics. So for the brine, we're gonna go get peppercorns, juniper berries, a pork chop, some salt, some sugar, and some garlic. And the time. So here goes half a cup of sugar, half a cup of salt, and then 2 cups of water. We're gonna bring this water to a boil and dissolve the salt and sugar here. So our water is not quite to a boil yet, but the salt and sugar is almost entirely dissolved. So I'm gonna add the aromatics now. I'm gonna use a teaspoon of juniper berries, a half a teaspoon of black peppercorns, 1 head of garlic that just broke into a million pieces, and a few sprigs of thyme. This would be an awesome, just general recipe, brine recipe that you could scale up and down for other cuts of meat. Works really well on lean cuts of meat that tend to dry out. So we're at a boil here. I'm gonna cut the heat off and bring it back over. Okay, so the sugar and salt have been dissolved in the brine here. You can see that they're no longer visible. And we've added all of our aromatics. And now we're just gonna pour it into this ice water. So I'm just gonna encourage the ice to dissolve. The recipe is designed so that the ice dissolves and it dilutes the saltwater solution. So here we have a giant double cut pork chop, bone in. This is about 2 or 2.5 inches thick, and there are 2 ribs that run through here, so it's a double cut pork chop. This will feed 2 people, maybe 3, probably just 2. And then I'm gonna cover this and then put it in the refrigerator for 8 to 12 hours. Okay, so this has been brining for 8 hours. So I'm gonna drain this on paper towels just to get as much of the surface moisture off of it so that we get a good sear when it hits the pan. These little spices will burn if they stick to the pork chop, so I'm just making sure they're all gone. The technique here with pan roasting is that we're gonna get good color on all sides of this pork chop and then finish it in the oven. So we're not cooking it all the way through up here, we're just establishing a nice crust. Okay, you can see that it's shimmering and just starting to smoke, so I'm gonna add this to the pan. We're gonna cook this on the first side for 3 or 4 minutes till it gets a light golden brown color. We have some good color here, so I'm gonna flip it now and try and get the same color on the other side. 2 minutes on this side, and then we're gonna try and sear this fat cap here and let some of that fat run out and get crispy. Okay, so we're golden brown. I'm gonna tip it up on its fat cap here and just hold it to stabilize it. The fat cap will burn more quickly than the rest of it will, so just keep an eye on it. Okay, so now that we have some good browning on the fat cap, I'm gonna lay it back on its original side and do 2 more minutes here. It looks super dark. This is not burnt. This is the sugars that were in the brine caramelizing, so there's a lot of really good depth of flavor there, so don't be afraid of it getting a little darker than you're used to. So it's been about 11 minutes of stovetop cooking, and I'm gonna flip it 1 more time and then finish it in the oven. So here we go. So just as we did on the stovetop, we're gonna pull this out of the oven every 2 minutes and flip it so that it keeps cooking evenly and doesn't get too dark on one side. And we'll do that for about 12 to 14 more minutes. Throw it back in. The last thing that we're gonna do this pork chop is add flavor through butter basting. So that means adding whole butter with some more of the aromatics that we brined it with into the hot pan when it comes out of the oven. And we'll use a spoon and baste the pork chop with it so that the butter browns and it gets all nutty and delicious, and then we'll let it rest. Yummos! There's a lot of fat left in this pan here, and what we're gonna do is tip off all of this fat and then add the whole butter that we talked about earlier. All right, medium heat. So now we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of butter, 2 cloves of garlic, and a sprig of thyme. The residual heat from the pan has already started melting the butter. We're gonna let it keep going. Smells delicious. Okay, so here we go, tipping the pan, and we're just spooning this butter up and over the pork chop. All those little areas that are still a little bit blonde are gonna now turn brown from this brown butter, and we're basically bathing it in aromatic brown butter bath. Butter basting is like a super chefy restaurant technique that is kind of an awesome back pocket tool to have. You should basically just always be basting with butter. Always be basting. So we stop the pork chop at 135 because it will continue to cook here for another 10 degrees or so, and then we'll rest it for a good 15 minutes and then slice into it. So now we'll take the chop and move it to the resting rack. And that'll rest for 15 minutes. But what's important about this is that we're gonna continue to do the flipping every couple of minutes so that as it rests, the juices recirculate evenly throughout it. So we're just gonna finish it with some flaky salt because it goes good with everything. There you have the pan roasted and brined pork chop. It's a little bit more effort in the beginning of the recipe, but it's certainly worth it. There's a huge payoff. As someone who's not really a pork chop person, this is a recipe I can certainly get behind. That's my milk because I'm making cottage cheese later.